Well, good morning, beautiful, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Well, we're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together with a full face makeup tutorial, and then we're also going to be memorizing a Bible verse. So, super excited to be continuing on in our journey with Color Me James. We're in chapter 2. We're going to add another couple of verses to our repertoire today. So, what are we going to be doing? Again, my name is Wendy, and today we're going to be hanging out in the Juvia's place. I think our music's just a tad bit loud. Last week it didn't work. This week they got us busting down just a little bit. Let's do that right there. How's that? Much better. Okay. So, what are we going to be doing? Today we're going to be hanging out in the Juvia's Place Culture Palette, and we're going to be hanging out in the blues and the pinks. So, we're going to have some fun there. So, remember, ask your question on whatever platform you're on. I'll have that chat turned on in just a minute, and I'll do my best to get that question asked and answered while we are here live. That could be a question about a makeup that I'm using. That could be a question about how am I doing that. That could be a question about the Bible verse. It could be a question about our song. Whatever. Just ask your question on there, and I'll do my best to get it asked and answered while we are live. Okay, so our easy makeup theme for today is can Mac, Candy YumYum, and some Culture Palette really turn the clock back? So let us see what the answer to that question is today. I want you to subscribe to this channel so we can continue to hang out together. And then grab your palette, grab your lashes, grab your, what do you got, lipstick, and then get on back here. Let's get going. A little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Can't wait. All right. So thank you for that. Sorry, I turned the chat on and I saw some chat going on already. So wow, I cannot wait to see your Ariel princess look. I can't wait to see the pictures of that. And let's see. So, question asked is we've got a special theme party going on. And the question is should I do my makeup at home and then just spray with the setting spray? I feel that would be better as I have my own tools at home. I would highly suggest that. That Juvia's Place setting spray or the Urban Decay one, either one of those are magnificent. I would definitely recommend doing that at home because you're right. The comfort of your own home, all your tools where they go. I would say, though, make sure that you bring a couple little touch-up things with you. At all times, I always have my eyeliner. I have my lipstick. I have, well, sometimes I use more than one eyeliner. So whatever eyeliners I've used. And then also eyelash glue. So, you know, whatever you consider your non-negotiable staples, make sure you pack those in a bag with you. So, you know, you take 2 extra bite out of a brownie and your lipstick goes sideways, you know, do that. Oh, and glitter. Man, if you're using glitter, make sure to carry extra glitter with you because there is nothing more horrible. Okay, maybe there's things more horrible, but anyways, it is horrible when you've got glitter and you start losing some glitter and next thing you know, you turn around and you got this beautiful pink patch of no glitter. It completely ruins the look. So take that with you. Let's see. I got one more comment. Let's see. I'm checking on. Okay. So, well, we will miss you, Anthea. I look forward to seeing what you got going on for your Ariel theme. Should be fun. And funny story. My daughter, one of her favorite hair colors she ever used, this is my youngest, was, well, everybody called her Ariel. So she has gorgeous, thick, curly, wavy hair, as does her older sister. But anyways, she colored her hair, and if I had a picture handy, I would show it to you. But it is just this serious, real-life looking Ariel kind of hair. It's amazing. Okay, so enough about that. I love my kids, though. Aren't you proud of your kids? Me too. Okay, so good morning. So make sure to give me a shout out. Let me know where you're coming from. Looks like y'all are a little more chatty this week. Super excited to see that. We got quite a few people in this room this morning, but only a little bit of conversation. So be a little more chatty. Here we go. So our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And all of this, as I said earlier, is coming from Color Me James. You can get that in 3 different platforms, whatever tickles your fancy. We've got a PDF, an ebook for those of you who like to use it digitally in color using, an app like Procreate or something like that, and write it in an app like, what is that called? Is it Goodreads? Anyways, on the website where the ebook is, it lists what apps to use for it. So then we've also got the paperback binding that's going to come from Amazon. And for a short time, Amazon actually messed up a printing. And so I have some imperfect printings. Does not affect the usability of the book whatsoever. On the back of the pages where the Bible verse is, rather than a black and gray floral graphic, it's just a gray page. So will not affect the usability of the book at all. But good news is you get to get it as a discount. And then my favorite format is the Spiral Edition, and that's available on my website shortly. Hopefully that will be available on Amazon, but still iron that out. Okay, so that is Color Me James. And this is our verse. We worked on last time.
Not to judge. You do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called important people, you go against the rule and stand convicted by it. You can't pick and choose in these things, specializing in keeping one or two things in God's law and ignoring others. Love without measure, love without pride. Welcome the stranger, stand side by side. Not rich or poor, not outward finesse, but hearts full of Jesus, nothing less. That's the way he loves, holy and true. The royal rule, now it's up to you. The same God who said, don't commit adultery, also said don't murder. If you don't commit adultery but go ahead and murder, do you think your non-adultery will cancel out your murder? No, you're a murderer. Period.
Okay, that gets in all our verse, so I'm going to stop us right there. But let me tell you, I love that. The message behind that song is painfully astounding. So make sure you check out all of Say La Soul songs that are going with our verse every single week. I look forward to the one this week. Gosh, it was a little more difficult musically challenging, but I really love the way that it turned out. So, and I know there's like a whole deal right now going on about AI music. So I'm going to lay this out there as I have on my YouTube channel for Say La Soul. Say La Soul is my alter ego. I am the writer, I am the voice, and then it is augmented with AI to sound like Say La Soul. So I don't know. I have always loved gospel music. Maybe it's because I was born in Africa and I've always felt a connection to the passion and the enthusiasm and the worship behind gospel music. But I am actually Say La Soul. So there you go. YouTube, are you listening? Don't be banning my channel. Okay, so let's go on with what we got next. Okay, so our verse for this week, we're going to press on in chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 12 to 13. And so love the story that's in this song. Now, I know I just confessed something about Say La Soul there. All those lyrics, totally me. So enjoy those. I mean, except for the part that's the Bible quoted. Obviously, I didn't say that, but all the rest of it. So you're definitely going to hear that in this one. Verse 1, verse 2 are a story about something that happens in a grocery store between two women. So get ready for that to come out. I will try to get that released on Saturday so that you have enough time to be well, okay, maybe I could get it done today. We'll see. But it's all ready and polished and good to go. So that should launch soon. Make sure to check out that Spotify playlist. You can find it under Say La Soul. I think it's actually Sailor Soul Music, or you can find it under me, Wendy Merritt. I have a Sailor Soul playlist on my Spotify. Excuse me, I was about ready to hiccup. Okay, so our verse this week. Talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to, if you refuse, what is that word? There we go. Can't even read my own script. If you refuse to act kindly, you can only expect to be treated. Well, hold on. You can, there we go. Hardly expect to be treated kindly. Are you having difficulty reading this? Because I am. So kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. So key phrases in there. You'll hear this at the end of the verse. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment other time. And in the first verse, you'll hear the first part of that. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. You can tell 2 verses, 2 different themes going on. So that's going to be James 2:12-13. Those graphics will come out tomorrow. So be ready for that. Excited to work on that verse this week. Love the story that's in the song for this week. All right. So again, I said, we're going to be playing with the culture palette this week, and this is the culture original. So we're going to be with that one, and it is what right now at the time of this recording, this live, it is Prime Days. So just about all of my links are Amazon links. So if you get over to my website, a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com, scan that QR code, you'll see all the products that I have used in every single episode. So any of those seem like your favorite, now is the time to check it out and see if Amazon has it discounted for you. If the product that I used is something that's maybe not available anymore, I have substituted for another product that is of equal quality and color. Yes, I know. Look what I got. I got an amen from Rachel. Woo woo, because of Amazon Prime Days. Okay, so what do we got happening here? Let us see. You know what? It is now time. It's now time to get about the business of our tutorial. Why is my graphics not scrolling across the bottom? Okay, I thought we were going to have a technical difficulty free week. That is not true. Okay, so let's make the most of what we got here. We're going to be playing, like I said, we're going to use some culture palette. We're going to be playing with some MAC lipstick. And we're going to start out with the professional primer. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but see how red this is? So I am not going to be using an eye primer today because my eyelids are angry about something. This has been going on for about 2 weeks now. So working through it, but I will not be using a primer in an attempt to minimize the anger of my eyelids. See how red that is? Okay, so we're going to start out with the professional primer, and I'll cue you in when to use your eye primer if you want to, because the blue and the pink today would definitely help itself out with that. So we're going to be using just a little drip right there. We're going to work that between the tips of our fingers, under the eye, down the center of the face. Any place where you have fine lines and wrinkles. Maybe you experience foundation separation. You know, that's when you look, when you get close up to your skin and you look at it, and it looks kind of like dotty. That is foundation separation. Okay. A number of things can cause that. Could be a disagreement between your primer and the foundation. Could be a disagreement between your moisturizer and the foundation. Could be that you've just got oily skin and it's causing those particles to separate from the foundation and make it look like that. A primer, you know, maybe you need to try a couple of different ones to find the one that's perfect for you. While I love this one and it works great with combo skin, I am not so bold as to say this is the perfect primer for everybody. It's just not the case. You cannot make flat out classifications like that. It's just not true. Everybody's skin is different. So find the one that works for you. Great thing about Ulta Beauty, while I don't work there anymore, love their return policy because you can either go and try it, or if testers gross you out, but you can have somebody sanitize it before you test her. Anyways, you can return that product if it does not perform the way that you feel that it should perform for you, or if it does not stand up to the claims that it makes. So highly recommend Ulta Beauty for this kind of purpose. However, as I've already said, it is Amazon Prime Days. So you have until the 11th To get things at a discount from Amazon, I don't think you have the fortunateness. I don't think you're fortunate enough to be able to do that same kind of return policy. So, anyways, use it, be diligent about it, hope for it to work, and then if it doesn't, then you can return it to Ulta. Okay, so bye under eye. I am the shade 11 light nude. Oh, I forgot. So if your eyes are not angry, go ahead and use your eye primer now. Love the Urban Decay eye primer. Love the eye primer, which is my favorite, which is I Live, I Love. Anyways, the one from Juvia's Place. Like that one too. So either one of those, you're going to be in good hands. I just have to minimize for today. So go ahead and do that. I'll give you a second. Do, 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 do. There you go. Pause the video if you need. Okay, so I am the shade 11 light nude. This is going to be It Cosmetics. We're going to give ourselves just a little bit of a ribbon of that. So we're going to use this any place we have darkness, hyperpigmentation. And while I know this is red for me, because I already got anger happening up there, I'm going to kind of avoid that spot. So we're going to go under the eye for the darkness. I'm going to come right here and down the center of my nose for the redness. And then today, I'm going to very carefully place that in the corner of my eye while not going up onto my eyelid and ticking off my my eyelid. Yes. Oh, Urban Decay is on the Prime deal right now. Woo woo. Thank you, Rachel. That is an amazing tip. So make sure you get over there and check that out. Okay, so I'm going to grab my beauty blender. This is a Real Techniques Magic Air Blend, I think it's called. Yep, Miracle Air Blend Sponge. So we're going to use the pointy tip of that. Now that we've let that warm up to our body temperature just a little bit so it can blend out nice and smoothly, we're going to use that tip there. And we are going to blend that out. Again, for me, making sure I am careful not to get up on that red part of my eye because I do not need to make my eyelid any more unhappy. I don't know. Maybe it's an allergy thing. We got a lot of things floating around in the air right now around here. Whatever it is, I have not experienced this before. And I hope you don't either. Okay. So we're just going to give that a little bit of a blend. So the one thing good about having the red eyelids is that because we're doing pinks today, it'll kind of help with the color. So yay for accidents. Okay, foundation. I'm going to be using the Lancome Tinty Doll. This is the shade 225N. Again, recommending Ulta for a shade match. So go in there. You can you don't even need to bring the foundation you have. Just go in there and say, hey, I need a shade match. Do you like it the same color, a little lighter, a little darker, whatever your pleasure? There's no wrong answer. It is your answer. You know how you want to look, and you just ask for that. So for me, it would sound something like, I have combo skin. I want to try the Lancome Tinty Doll. I need a shade match. I want it to be the same color. And then they will handle the rest of that. Okay, watching on Facebook. Yay! Okay, so we're going to give one pump of that right there on that sponge. We're going to dab that a little bit everywhere. And then we're going to blend that out. For right now, I'm just going to stay kind of in the lower half of the face. We're going to go all the way to the hairline. Yes, my hair did change color from last week. My coworker and I got on Amazon together and decided what my hair color was going to be. And then I told her next time she's going to have to come over and help me put that on because that was it's hard to see the back of your head. Okay. So we're just going to blend that out. We're going to make sure we get that underneath our chin there. And then we're going to do a little partial pump, just like, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a pump. We're going to get that there. We're going to dab that up here on the forehead. And then we're going to blend that out from up in the hairline all the way down to the brows there. We don't want to like actually in the brow, but you want to make sure that it goes up and around to the brows. There we go. So we're just going to use the edge of that brush to work up in there like that. And then just kind of tap it out. Okay. You want to know why I'm laughing? Okay. And Thea says, I can't believe it. Your hair is the same color as my wig for tomorrow. Well, I wanted to do some kind of like highlighter colors. I don't know. And so said coworker is on right now and she says, we're doing mine next. So it looks like I'll be having some fun. I am not a hairdresser. So don't need to start booking appointments here. Okay, so no, I'm not a hairdresser. I'm just a hack. I've been doing hair since I was about 9 years old. When I was growing up, my family didn't have a whole lot of money, and so I just have always loved makeup and hair and fashion and that kind of thing. So I just kind of figured out, 17 magazine was the thing of the day because there wasn't such a thing as YouTube, and you just got in there. I was my own guinea pig to start with, and then I ventured out to family members, and some left my chair crying, but I'd like to think that that was a personality problem on their part. Okay, if they're watching, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to say who it was. Anyways, let's go ahead and set what we've got. Laura Mercier, this is going to be the rose. I've been using this for a while. I love the brightening of this. A lot of this comes out, so make sure you are careful when you uncap that bad boy because a lot of powder is going to be in that reservoir. I am using my Juvia's Place. This is the mini I Am Magic Pyramid Puff. Okay, so we're going to dip that tip right in there. Just tap it off. We're going to go under the eye with that and right in the corner there. This is going to keep you from creasing. Just keep you nice, dry, pleasant matte color. Then I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to use the wide top of that. We're going to press it in. We're going to tap it off. We're going to go down the center. There we go. Making sure we get all up around the cracks and crevices there. Going under that chin where we added that foundation. Okay. There's a mess happening here. There we go. We're just pressing that in. A little side to side action, but we're not like, you're just kind of, what is with the sound effects this morning? Okay. What happened to our music? Can you hear it? Okay, there we go. Let me go back to the chat. Okay. Okay. Back to our setting. Sorry. It left us for a second there. I thought I was having a repeat of last week. They've had their tech support working on that all week long. And I don't know if they found out the answer or not, but it's working today. And our video even worked. Yay! Intro, outro. Whoop, whoop. Okay. And plus, I love my theme song. Thursdays at 8. Okay. I know, it's true. If I ever change the date and time of the podcast, I have to have a whole new theme song. Okay. We're just getting everything set there. Then we're going to screw that lid back on so we can minimize the amount of spillage that we have going on because right now I have it all down the front of me. So, I'm going to cap that foundation. What are we doing now? Now we're a blank canvas. And so we need to add some contouring, add some shape in where we want it to be. So we are going to use a dual-ended brush. This is from It Cosmetics. This is going to be our bronzer or the low. This will be the highlighter or well, actually today it won't be. But anyways, so go ahead and grab your KVD Everlasting Shade Plus Light Refillable Contour Palette. I definitely need to check and see if that is on the Amazon Prime Day because let me tell you, look. So we're going to use the flat side of this here. We're going to go in there. In there. We're going to go from the top of the ear. We're going to kind of curve that around to the corner of the eye. We're going to make sure that we're staying above that hollow of the cheek there. And then right beside that hairline. Same thing on the other side. There we go. And I do, one of the things that I love about this palette is rather than being so warm, this is a very nice kind of a cool-sided palette. I mean, it's got warm in there. So if you're warm skin tone, you've got, you know, 3 different ones to pick from. So you'd be over here. I'm going to use that flat side again, go right up here against the hairline. But it really does lend itself more towards contouring and bronzing, because bronzing is more like giving yourself like a sun-kissed glow. And contouring is more like, gosh, my face is round. I really need some hollow of my cheek. So they kind of do 2 different things. Okay, we're going to use the skinny side of this now. We're going to go from the ear under that jawline right to that corner of the mouth. There you go. We're going to keep a neutral face so that you're truly getting right under that jawline. That's going to give you more of a definitive edge of that and minimize any extra necks you have going on. Okay, so we're going to stay with that skinny side there. We're going to go from the inside of the eye right down beside the nose. Narrow that nose out just a little bit. Hit that tip just a smidge right underneath there. There you go. Now we're going to go to the highlight. We're going to, right there in that highlighter, right on the top of the cheek, right beside the eye socket. And we do have a shimmer highlighter. We'll come back in just a minute. But let's go ahead and elevate that area. Make sure you hit that Cupid's bow. That's going to give you a little lift and volume to your lip for free. No shots necessary. Okay, now we're going to grab our blush brush. We're going to grab our Juvia's Place Volume 4. I know, look at this. It's a bright new shiny one. We're going to be in this one here today. We got a lot of pink happening on the eye. So I know it's weird for me to say we don't want to overdo it, but nonetheless, we're just going to get the tip of that right there. We're going to go between the bronzer and the highlight, or the low and the high. And then right there between the low and the high on the side of the cheek on the temple. There we go. Same thing on the other side. Just giving a hint of color there. And then we're going to get a little bit just right along that hairline. And then whatever's left on that brush, you can hit that tip of that nose and right there on the chin, just to give you like a cohesive flow. Ooh, cohesive. I haven't even had coffee. That was a good word. Okay. Now we have got our contouring done. We got a little shape to our face. We got a little color. Now our canvas is ready. So let's say the verse together. Talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. James 2:12 through 13. Man, I can really hear that song as that verse gets spoken. So let us play with the first part of our title today, because our title today was, let me actually get it over here because I don't remember the direct words. So our title today was Can Mac, Candy YumYum, and Culture Palette Really Turn Back the Clock? So you can see right now what I've got going on. I got some little skinny lips. And there's not like a whole lot happening there. Not a whole lot of color. So what we're going to do is we're going to line the lips, give us a little extra real estate, give us a little plumpy effect without actually a lip plumper, because I really don't like those. And I don't like lip gloss. And then we're going to use that Candy YumYum to really give some pow to the lips there. So going to take that NYX. This is the Hot Pink retractable liner. We're just going to retract that out a little bit. Love retractables because you don't have to sharpen them and waste product. So we're going to start out in that Cupid's bow. And give yourself a nice V to start. So it's not going to stay pointy, so don't worry too much. But you want to, even if your lips do not naturally have that V, just do the V. It's going to help. Once you do that, it's going to give you more of that arch lift as we round that out. And that will help give you the effect of a fuller lip. So now we're going to, right there at the top of that V, we're going to grab that. We're going to go just outside the lip line and round that out to the outside corner. Just like that. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. I actually set my pinky on my chin to kind of give me, have you ever seen a carpenter do a circle cut? They drop a pin, they have a string, and then they roll that string around and it makes a perfect circle. So I keep my pinky on my chin and then draw that circle, and that pinky is like the center of that circle, and then that helps me to get a nice round shape. So now we're going to give ourselves a center point just outside the lip line on the bottom, and then we'll round that out to the outside. And if you haven't ever outlined outside your lip line a little bit, it feels kind of weird the first time you do it, but then you get used to it, and you get used to feeling that ridge of where you want your line to be just outside that lip. So now let's round that out to the outside corner. Okay, now we want our lipstick to wear well. We want our lips to look full. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that lip pencil. We're going to use a little bit lighter pressure and line to the inside of what we just did. Kind of feathering, going back and forth. There you go. And now we're going to do that same thing on the bottom. So you should have a clear center and then sort of a little bit of shading and then the lining on the outside. That will be your lip liner for today. So now we're going to grab that MAC, going to grab that candy YumYum, and let's go ahead and fill in the lip lines that we just did. Well, I guess I should say also, I was kind of doing it as we were going along, but go ahead and take a little bit of a look back. Just kind of close your mouth normal and make sure that you got both sides the same. And actually, let me, now that I said that, let me get right here. I always have a tendency to make that left side just a little bit straighter, less rounded than the right. I don't know. Okay, so now we're going to fill in what we got. Get that lipstick right to the edge where that lip liner is. And then fill in the center. Now, in this case, our lip liner is almost the exact same color as our lipstick, so you don't need to be too freakish about making sure that it's actually going over the edge of the lipstick. Let's see. Oh, lip liners. Let me think. So, hard lip liner that would withstand heat and temperatures. I would try the NYX Sharpen lip pencils. Those are a little more firm of a lip pencil. Also, the MAC lip pencils are a little more firm. So probably for you, Anthea, it would probably be good to not have the retractables because they tend to be a little bit softer. So for you, I would suggest using a sharpening pencil because they're a little more firm. Okay, so now we got that nice happy pink lip going on. There you go. And now we look a little strange because we got this bright pink lip and we don't got anything on our eyes, but no worries. Let us play with our eyes here. So again, we're going to be playing with the Juvia's Place Culture Palette, and we are going to be hanging out here today. We're going to be in Effique, and then we're going to, where did my colors go? Oh, there we go. Effique. Then we're going to be in Kobo, which is that nice pink color. Then we're going to be hanging out in Shakir, which is our blue for today. Then we're going to use a little bit of Sun. And then we're going to finish it out with some shading with Benin, this one right here. So we're going to be hanging out in those blues and pinks. So we're going to need a couple of different kinds of brushes. Now, if you are using some other color series to achieve this effect, you're going to need a dark, a shimmer, a medium, and kind of a blender color. So you'll need a fleshy color up here. And then between the medium and to the top, good tip for the, here we go. Okay, so the question is that was a good tip, or you need a tip for the lip liner? Okay. We'll get an answer to that here in just a second. Good tip. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to start out with, let me move my brushes just a tad bit closer here. We're going to start out with just a blender brush right here. This is a Morphe M456. We're going to go into a Effique right here. I know I need to get another Culture palette. Okay, we're just going to work that around, and that's going to go right up here. This has a little bit of color to it, a little bit of a neutral, but with a punch. So whatever your skin tone, now this one's going to be a lot of forgiving, and this does have a shimmer in it. So I would still go ahead and try it no matter your skin tone. You might actually try the jaw as well. That one might be a good choice for you. And then the talking drums, that one doesn't have any shimmer to it, but that one's really nice. You might like that one too if you have a little more pigment to your skin. So we're going to do the Effique, and we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Here we go. Just right up there on that eye bone. There we go. Then we're just going to set that brush aside. Now we're going to grab Actually, I take that back. Let's do an angled shadow brush. I think we're going to be better with that one. Sorry, this one has a little color. Let me brush that off for us. Okay, so we're just going to do an angled shadow brush. This is a MAC something. But any eyeshadow brush collection for eyes is going to have an angle brush. You just wanted to have that nice cut on there. So we're going to take that. We're going to go into the Kobo right here. We're going to get it just on the face of that brush. Just want it on that tip right there. Right where you can feel your eye socket bone. We're going to go from the inside to the outside. Just right on that bone. We want to feel that bone right underneath that brush. You don't need to like bounce it the way I was just doing. That was just so you could tell what I was feeling. Okay, so let me get that again. We're going to go here. Then we're going to take it from this corner right here to about halfway. Right there in that center of the eye. So we've got kind of a little bit of a V kind of thing going on. And then we're going to fill in this corner right here. So it should look like this when you're finished. Don't worry about blending out and all that just yet. We'll get to that. I'm just going to go over it one more time. Better to deposit color in more layers than try to deposit too much at once and you end up with fallout all over your face. Okay, so let's do that same thing on the other side. Right on that bone. I'm actually going to come back this way. There you go. Then we're going to go from where that ended to the center of the eye. And then we're going to fill in that outer corner right here. I guess we're boring Wesley. He's leaving. There we go. So that's what we got so far. Now we're going to grab a shadow brush. Let's see. This one is a shadow brush. This is a Morphe M124. This one's kind of flat and a little elongated. We're not trying to do like a whole lot of color. We're not blending anything out. We're just putting some color on the bottom so that we can add that shimmer back over the top. So we're going to go into Shakir right here. And we're just going to get that on one side. And this is kind of like, almost like your finger. We're just going to go about a third of the way. And just right there in that hole. Oop. Got in Bono just a little bit. Let's go in Shakir. There you go. And we're just going to put that right in that little triangle hole that we got. Right there. Same thing on the other side. And when we put that sun over the top, it's just going to give us a little extra color on this side. So this will not stay as blue as it is right now. Okay, let me just get that over just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now we look like this. So we're going to take a... let's actually use this one. This is a smudger. It's kind of a fluffy smudger. This right here is a Morphe M321. We're going to use that one with the color Son right here. We're just going to get it on the tip. You can see that right there. We're going to go on the inside corner. And then we're just going to bring it across that blue that we did. And you're just going to blend that out. You can see how that just gives you, I see a little bit of the, every time I use the shimmers, they always have a tendency to fall out just a little bit because I got glitter suspended up in there. Okay, so you can see how that blended that out naturally. So let's go ahead and do that again. Son, right in the corner. We're going to grab it again. And then let's cover over that blue. And actually, I feel like the Son, unlike my dry run with this, I feel like it darkened out just a little bit. So let's go ahead and let's grab some of the jaw right there. Let's just get that right on that tip. I'm using the same brush. We're just going to get that right on the tip. We're just going to put that right there in the inside. Just brighten that up just a little bit. There you go. There, that much better, much better, much better. Now I'm going to take the blue brush that I had, and I'm just going to kind of tap it there to bring some of that blue back, just a smidge. There. So this is what we got now. We are going to take let's do just a general eyeshadow brush. We're going to go in that Benin. We've got kind of a harsh line right now going from that pink up to that, what is it, from Kobo to Afik. So we're just going to soften that out a little bit. We're going to take this brush. We're going to go in the Benin. We're just going to get a little tiny bit on that tip there and like straddle the center between those two colors. Start in the middle, and you're just going to let that color right there, that Benin, be the blender. So we're just going to soften that out. Again, the Benin, start in the middle and just soften that out. And then we're going to take the brush that we started with. We're just going to Afik. Make sure we got a nice clean center. There you go. And actually, let's go ahead and Afiki right there. Is that a word? Afiki? Well, it is now. Okay, just right there like that. Okay, now you can see what we've got. Some blue, some pink. We got some shimmer. We got some matte. We got all kind of thing going on up in there. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of shadow on the underside. Just want to point out also, while I'm looking forward, you can see that pink just peeking out over the fold of my eye. Because I have hooded eyes, you know, there's like a lot right here, a lot of skin. We want to see that color peeking out above it so it opens up that eye a little bit. And then when you close your eye, when you blink, there's the magic. There's the blue. Peekaboo. Okay. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Okay, sorry. Let's go ahead and get some under eye shadow going on. So I'm going to grab... This is a smudger, much more fine, smaller smudger. This is a Morphe M213. We're going to go in that Kobo right here. We're going to go from the outside corner. I'm just going to go about a third of the way. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Go about a third of the way. We're not going to leave the center empty, but we're going to leave it empty for right now. Okay. Go ahead and use that same brush. You can tap it off on the tissue. Get a little Shakir. Put that right in the center. Okay, we want to soften it just like we did on the top. So we're also going to grab a little bit of that sun and put that right over that Shakir. Nice. Okay, so now we have a little of the pink, a little of the blue. Our eyes are really opened up because we have added that color up above the fold of our eye. If you have finished, let's say you finish your eye, you don't have it peeking up enough, you can grab that angle brush that you use and just go over it again, like so gently, and lift that color up a little more if you need to. So you just want to see that pink coming up above that fold. Now, we got a lot of color happening up in here. How are we going to finish these eyes off? So I'm going to try, this is the Egyptian pencil liner from Juvia's Place, because you know I like a little pencil liner in addition to a liquid liner. I just think it does nice to hold on. This is listed as I believe this is supposed to be waterproof. Creamy pencil, delivers intense color print, satin finish, waterproof, smudge proof, and transfer proof. It's all the proofs. So we're going to test it out today. So beautiful, light, bright colors today. So we're not going to like overdo it, but I just want a little. So is this one a retractable? No, I think it's a sharpen. Anyways, let's go ahead and try it. We're going to go from the outer corner to just past where that blue starts. So just a little more than halfway. We're just adding a little extra line to give some definition to the eye to open it up. Now I have smaller eyes. If you have bigger eyes, you could actually probably go all the way across. But if I do that, my eyes are going to like close down and shut down. Okay, so I don't want to use a line per se on the bottom because we have those nice bright colors. But what I am going to do is put that on my waterline so they get a little finish, like the edge of a picture frame. So just in that waterline. I'm going to go about halfway. You can see the difference between the two sides there. Just on that waterline, filling in that whole waterline there. And we are going to be using some lashes today. So we're going to go ahead and grab that Too Faced Better Than Sex liner. I did grab the new Juvia's Place liquid liner, but this one hasn't dried out yet. And I don't like to open more than one liquid liner at a time because they dry out and then we just wasted money. So love the tip on this one. We're going to go from the outside corner and just give ourselves a nice thin line all the way to the inside corner. There you go. Same thing on the other side, inside corner. All the way to the outside corner. Ooh, microphone's in the way. Here we go. So just a nice slim line. Give our lashes someplace to go, to look at. We're going to let that thing dry down while we play with our eyebrows. Now, obviously, I cannot use the same eyebrow color I was using last week because my hair is now a different color. So what am I going to be doing today? I am going to use a Morphe eyeliner. This was actually a lips or eyes color collection that Morphe did with Naeem. I believe this color has actually been discontinued. Sad day. There were 4 of them. It had a beautiful yellow. Are you listening, Morphe? I would like for you to bring this back. The yellow one I have like just a little bit left. It's beautiful and it's hard to find a good yellow liner. So anyways, back to the story of what we're doing here. So I am going to use my sharpener. Let's get a little nice tip on there. There we go. we are going to pencil our brows in. So I'm just going to give little flicks up. And then I'm going to, I don't like a flat line looking thing. I like it to look a little natural. So we're just going to use little strokes here right along my natural brow line. And then we're just going to drag a tail out. I'm going to come back in and fill in just a little bit with some additional flicks. My brow needs to be a little further to the inside, so we're going to fake a brow there. We're going to make it a little wider. I've been hearing something that skinny brows are coming back. I will have it made. Who is with me? Who has skinny brows? Okay, so you can see the difference between the two now. So let's go ahead and get that pencil on the other side. Then we'll use a brush to flick that out and we'll be good there. So I am going to, right here, okay, this is very hard because the microphone's in my way. Here we go. We're going to flick up. And then we're going to flick out. Notice how I've changed the direction of the pencil here. And we're just going to flick that all the way down to the tail. There we go. Then we're going to fill in. Now remember, you don't have to be too precise with this part of it because you're fixing to come back in with the brush. Let me see. I think this one's a little skinnier than the other one. Okay. Well, we're going to flick it anyways. Okay, so let me grab, this is the Benefit eye shaping brush. I love this one. Has a, well, in my case, a hairy brush on the other end. So I'm going to, the long end is pointed down, skinny end is at the top, and we're just going to flick that through that pencil to give us some nice strokes. And that will keep you from looking like you have brows. So again, wide end is down. We're going to flick that. And then we're going to flick it in the direction that we want those hairs going. So I've got it turned. Now it's at about a 45. And then we're just going to drag it down there. I do like a smooth bottom of it. So we'll go ahead and do that right here. Then I need to put those hairs back. There we go. Same thing over here. Let's put those hairs back. There we go. So now we got a nice clean brow going on. What is it time for? It is time to put our mascara on. This week I'm going to be using the Bad Gal Bang. Oop, upside down. Bad Gal Bang from Benefit. It is a water resistant. This one is a water resistant. I'm going to be using the eyelash curler. We just need a little bit of curl so that it can go with our lashes. Today we're going to be using the Kiss Lash Masterpiece. This is the Avant-Garde. Okay, so we got this going on. We're going to find our sweet spot here. And we're going to give just a curl and say our verse together. So find that spot. Here we go. And let's say that verse together. Talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. James 2:12-13. And same thing on the other side. Find that sweet spot. No pinching, no pain. There we go. Talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. James 2:12-13. All right, so we can go ahead, grab your magnifying mirror if you need to, or get in close, whatever the case may be. And we are going here. Okay. So we're going to unwand that, uncap it. Anyways, give yourself a nice coat. Sweep back on the tips. This will give you some extra volume. And if you're like me and your lashes are not black, it will help them to blend in better. And I just like the extra volume too. So make sure you do that. Plus, you're not going to get false lashes on the bottom ones anyway. So you're going to have to pull your mascara out anyways. Okay, so here we go. On the top lash. If you have black lashes already, you may potentially be able to avoid this step. But I will tell you, like I just said, it does give you extra volume. And most of the time, the reason why we're wearing false lashes is for volume and length. So that will help you do those two things anyways. While I was in there close up like that, I noticed a little of that over there. So let's get rid of that. Okay, now we're going to mascara the bottom lashes. This will be done just like normal because we're not getting false lashes there. So we're going to go from the root to the tip here. We added that liner to the water line there. So it should go right up to where that mascara is going to be placed now. And then we're going to sweep back up under the tips there. There you go. Using that tip of that to really get those inside or outside corner of the lashes done and sweeping under that tip so they're nice and full like that. Okay, so now you can see that's also softened that color on the bottom because we have the lashes coated now. So let's go ahead and do that same thing on the other side as well. I must have my microphone in a different spot. Okay. And we are sweeping back under the tip there. Keeping those nice and separated. Okay. Nice. So you can see we got a little bit of coating going on. We got a little bit of curl going on. But the real focus is going to be these lashes here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and just do one more on the bottom lash. Just want to make sure those are nice and bold and coated. Okay, much better. I like that. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be using the Avant-Garde lash from the Masterpiece collection from Kiss. So these are a flare. You got a shorter lash on the inside, a wider lash on the outside. I've already trimmed these because I've worn these a couple of times. You would dry fit these, just kind of hold it in place. Most everybody is going to need to trim a little bit off, and you're going to trim it off from the outside edge here. You want to use a nice fine pair of scissors like these that are from velour, and then don't use them for anything else, and they'll stay nice and sharp. You know, if you cut your kids' documents or an envelope or whatever, a packaging with those scissors, you're going to dull them like super fast. So just make sure, like your sewing scissors, in case you're inclined that way, you know, those are dedicated. They don't get used for anything else but sewing fabric. I don't know how many times I had to have that conversation with my kids. Okay, and I'm seeing that there's just a little something on my lash here, so I'm just going to get that off. I am holding the lash with my left hand, as I'm a right-handed person, and I'm just grabbing that band between my two fingers on the other side. I don't know what that was, but there we go. So we're going to do that. Let me check this side because that's a little weird. Okay, I think the last time I must have wore these, I had some kind of hunky glitter on, because what is on here is some pieces of hunky glitter. So I am just taking this band and I'm literally just getting that hunky glitter off of there. Who knows what it was? I don't know. Could have been, did I have these on for 4th of July? I may have. I don't know. Okay, anyway, so you're just going to clear that off now. In a perfect world, you're using Velour makes an eyelash or a lash cleaner, and in a perfect world, you're doing that at the sink and not doing what I'm doing right now. But, you know, it is what it is. So we're going to grab our lash tool, again by Velour. We're going to grab those lashes right there in that middle. We're going to grab our eye lure lash glue because I know I'm using a lot of Kiss. I'm using a lot of Velour, but I love the eye lure glue. So this is the 18-hour clear lash glue. We're going to apply that to that top of that band there. And then we're going to get it to the inside corner. The inside, the flat part of that band. This particular band does have like a flat part. So we're just going to get it on there so that it stays where it's supposed to be. We're going to make sure that we get those outside corners nice and good because that is where you are going to have the highest probability of having lifting and agitation. So we're just going to make sure we get those good. Okay, what is happening here? There we go. Okay, so again, we're going to take that other lash. We're going to grab it in the middle. Ta-da! And that adhesive is going to go on the top of the band. And then it's also going to go on the inside of the band. You can see like how it has that flat face. And that's where we're going to be putting that adhesive right there on that flat face. Okay. There is a glump. There we go. No glumps. It's a no glump zone. There we go. And we're making sure that we get that, again, on the outside corners to minimize the amount of lifting that we're going to have from these lashes. So I'm just setting these on the table in front of me. We're going to let those set for just a second. We want that adhesive to get a little bit tacky. Usually takes about 30, 60 seconds for that to happen. So while you're doing that, you're going to notice when you pick the lashes up, when they're ready to go, some of the adhesive is going to start to maybe get a little tiny bit on the clear side. And that's when you know that it is going to be ready to go. We're also going to take these lashes. I'm going to grab two sides of it and we're just going to round it just like this and make sure that it's nice and soft and pliable for us wearing them. So I see an extra little straggler right there. We're going to take him off. There we go. Grabbing that lash right in the center. We're going to put it right here in the center of the eye. Right on that eyeliner line. We're going to grab the outside corner, walk that around. Oh, that was fun. My thing changed color spectrums. There we go. Put it back to that full spectrum light. Sorry about that little light thing. And then we're going to take that inside corner. We're going to get that right on that eyeliner line. We're going to take the tip of that, work our lashes into that. We're going to make sure that everybody's in that same space so we don't have any gaps. So I'm just kind of pressing them together. Here we go. And it felt like maybe I had a little bit of tug, so I'm just going to wipe that tool off. Make sure that I do not have any adhesive on there. Okay, so you can see how different that looks. Nice, right? So again, we're going to grab the two ends of the other one. We are going to just rotate that, let that band soften up a little bit. Then we're going to grab it right there in that center, just like there. We all know that's a little off center. Need to do it right. There we go. Doop. There we go. Right there in the center on that lash up here, right on that lash line. Grab that outside corner, get that on your liner line. I'm just going to pull that out just a little bit. Then the inside corner, get that on that liner line. Feels like I got a little adhesive on there. Okay. We're going to make sure everybody's in the same spot. We're all happy. We're holding hands. We're having a good time. There we go. Everybody's all nice and going together. We're going to take that tip We're going to work our lashes into those lashes. I'll double check that inside corner again because it was being a little ornery. There we go. And then I'm just going to press those. Make sure everybody is all staying put. And as that lash adhesive dries down, it is going to go from white to clear. So you'll see that disappear as that dries down. Okay, so now we have got that. We want what we've done to stay. We do not want anything to move and go anywhere. We did all this work. We want it to stay like that all day long. We want Anthea to be the beautiful Ariel for her event that she is going to. So let's say that verse one more time together, and then we are going to set everything we've just done. So that is scrolling across your screen. We're going to wait till that comes back around, and it should be ready to go. So I love the shape of these lashes. Okay, so the verse. Talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. And that's James 2, 12, and 13. So grab your Juvia's Place Ready, Set, Sealed. We're going to give it a little bit of a shake. Here we go. Love that smell. Just let that dry down. Nice. You will be good for the remainder of the day. Oh, thank you. You will be good for the remainder of the day. That will help extend the wearability of your everything that you've got on. So make sure that you set everything. And Thea, for you, I don't know how wild and crazy your event is going to be, but you can also buy those in a little travel size. So if you need to, like partial the way through a long event, like a wedding or something like that, which I know it's not what you're doing, but if you're going to a long event, between the ceremony and the reception, it would be a good idea to just touch up a little bit after you've changed your clothes, and then just do another round of that setting spray. That will help you make it through all the dance floor. So do they do that? I was going to say it's going to help you make it through Soul Train line, but I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Okay, anyways. I know, I'm such a party animal, right? There we go. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a delight to hang out with you. I look forward to seeing you throughout the week on social media or on my website, a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Show me what you did. Show me what colors you used. Did you use the same? Did you use different? Post your picture in the comments or do a comment and then tag me in it. I would love to see what you got going. So let's go ahead and do a quick review of what we got going on in James so far. So we've got I, James, am a slave of God, and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes, scattered to kingdom come. Hello. There you go. Let's, what's the first word? Hold on, I'm losing my head here. Okay, consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and trials come at you from tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So don't try to get out of anything prematurely. Let it do its work so you may become mature and well-developed, not deficient in any way. If you don't know what you're doing, pray to the Father. He loves to help, and you won't be condescended to when asking for it. Ask boldly, believingly, without a second thought. People who worry their prayers are like wind-whipped waves. Don't think you're going to get anything from the Master that way, adrift at sea, keeping all your options open. When down and outers get a break, cheer. And when the arrogant and rich are cut down to size, cheer. Prosperity is as short-lived as a wildflower, so don't ever count on it. As soon as the sun shines, pouring down its scorching heat, the flower withers, the petals wilt, and before you know it, that beautiful face is a barren stem. It's beautiful. Well, that's a picture of the prosperous life. At the very moment everyone is looking on in admiration, it fades away to nothing. Anyone who meets a testing challenge head on and manages to stick it out is mighty fortunate. For such persons royally in love with God, the result is life and more life. How are y'all doing? You doing good with all this? Okay, so I love this song. This is one of my favorites. Don't let anyone under pressure give in to evil say, God is trying to trip me up. God is impervious to evil and puts evil in no one's way. The temptation to give in to evil comes from us and only us. We have no one to blame but the leering, seducing flare up of our own lust. Lust gets pregnant and has a baby, sin. Sin grows up to adulthood and becomes, the name of the song, a real killer. So, my dear friends, I really like this song too. Okay, anyway, so so my very dear friends, don't get thrown off course. Every good and perfect gift comes from the Father of light, cascading, every desirable and beneficial gift comes out of heaven. The gifts are rivers of light cascading down from the Father of light. There is nothing deceitful, nothing two-faced, nothing fickle. He brought us to life using the word, showing us off as the crown of all his creatures. Okay, so post this at all intersections, my dear friends. Lead with your ears, follow up with your tongue, and let anger straggle along in the rear. God's righteousness doesn't grow from human anger, so throw out all spoiled virtue and cancerous evil in the garbage. In simple humility, let our gardener, God, landscape you with the word, making a salvation garden of your life. So don't fool yourself into thinking that you are a listener when you are anything but. Letting the word go in one ear and out the other. Act on what you hear. Those who hear and don't act are like those who look in the mirror, and then those who look in the mirror, look away, and then 2 minutes later have no idea who they are or what they look like. Okay, but whoever captures a glimpse of the who captures a glimpse of the revealed course of God, the free life, out of the corner of his eye and sticks with it is no distracted scatterbrain, but a man or woman of action. That person will find delight and affirmation in the action. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's see. That's prayer. Oh my goodness. How does that one start out? Personal don't your phone. It's listening. Is that this one? Yes. Anyone who sets himself up as religious by talking a good game is self-deceived. I like this song. That one's hard to read, though. Is self-deceived. This kind of religion is hot air and only hot air. Real religion is that kind that passes muster before God. It is this. Reach out to the homeless and the loveless in their plight and guard against corruption from this godless world. Okay. Oh, so man, so that's wonderful. That's the end of chapter 1. So now we're starting chapter 2. Okay, I'm doing a little better than I thought. How you doing? Everybody hanging on tight? Okay, let's take a look at this one. My dear friends, don't let public opinion influence how you live out your glorious Christ-oriented faith. If a man enters your church wearing an expensive suit and a street person comes in with rags, comes in right after him, and you say to the man in the suit, sit here, this is the best seat in the house, and either ignore the street person or say, better sit here in the back row. Haven't you segregated God's children and then proved that you are judges who can't be trusted? I know I got that one I got the point of it, but it's a little rough as far as word for word goes. Okay, listen, dear friends. Isn't it clear by now that God operates quite differently? He chose the world down and out as the kingdom's first citizens with full rights and privileges. This kingdom is promised to anyone who loves God. And here you are abusing these same citizens. Isn't it the high and mighty who exploit you? Who use the courts to rob you blind? Aren't they the ones who scorn the new name Christians that are used in your baptisms? Okay, that one's a little rough. Okay, here we go. We're almost there. Home stretch. Okay, I'm gonna have to cheat a little bit. What is this one? Okay, you do well. La, 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 la. Okay, you do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called But if you play up to these so-called important people, there we go, you go against the rule and stand convicted by it. You can't pick and choose these two things in these things, specializing in one and then not keeping the other. The same God who said, do not commit adultery, also said, don't commit murder. If you don't commit adultery, but you do commit murder, do you think that your non-adultery is going to cancel out your murder? No, you are a murderer, period. Okay, and then the one that we are working on, okay, that one might need just a little touch up. Okay, and then the one we're working on for this week, talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. James 2:12-13. And the world has grabbed this verse and others like it in the Bible and taken that and made that out to be the word karma. Karma is a bad word. That is not a Christian word. But the point is that even the world acknowledges this principle that act kindly, treated kindly. Act harshly, treated harshly. It's a principle. It's a thing. So we know as believers that this is not karma. This is God. This is the truth. This comes from James chapter 2, verse 12-13. All right. So again, all of this is coming from the book Color Me James, available on my website, a little bit of makeup at wholelotofjesus.com, and also on Amazon as well. So grab your copy, ebook, paperback, spiral bound, whatever your pleasure, and enjoy that. So this week, I think we have, what is this week? I think it's a word scramble. I think this week is a word scramble. So have fun with that. Enjoy the coloring page. Make sure you pick up your copy. And then all this is all in the Beauty and Grace Insider, which is living in YouTube. The Cherished Queen comes with the ebook for free. So get in there and join that. You'll get all of the lyrics. Oh, that's a good idea. You'll get all the lyrics, you'll get the songs, you'll get the flashcard graphics, you'll get little extra bonuses and all that inside of that Beauty and Grace program. If you're on YouTube watching that, you might have already seen some people using special little emojis, because with that membership also comes some special YouTube emojis as well. And there's also badges for how long you've been a Cherished Queen. A Beauty and Grace Insider. So have fun with that. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, look forward to seeing you on social media and on the website, a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Let me speak a blessing into your life this week, and then we will step out, and I can't wait to see the look that you've created. So, Numbers chapter 6, verses 24-26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how thankful I am for each one of these women that has come and hung out with me today, that is going to play with makeup while thinking about you, while memorizing your scripture. Father, I pray that you would just hold these words in our hearts, how each one of these verses, each segment, each chapter, each book, everything that we memorize, Father, is there for us to use. I know personally how wonderful it has been that you have brought some of them not so wonderful, but you got to grow, so you got to put stuff there. So, I have enjoyed how you have given me tests and challenges and trials to help me work out my faith through these verses I have memorized and through the studying of the book of James. I pray that for my sisters in Christ this week as well. Father, I just pray that you would lead, guide, in them, direct them, that you would help us to remember that royal rule to love our neighbors as ourselves, that you would help us to not be hearers only of the word, but that we would be doers, that we would be living and dwelling and breathing and memorizing your word. Father, help it to be a part of who we are, to regulate our lives, to govern our lives, and to just draw us closer to you as you transform us to be more like Jesus. Father, I'm so thankful for being born a woman, for having the opportunity to play with your beautiful and magnificent colors every single day as I put on my makeup. I just pray blessings on these women, whether they're here with me live or they're watching this later on. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Well, it again has been a delight to hang out with you. I look forward to seeing you throughout this week. Share with me what you got. Until next time, my friends, I love you. Mwah.
A little